For those who have worked on yourself and healed, has dating become harder for you? Yeah, once you raise your standards to only allow adults with healthy relationship boundaries and who have a good understanding of who they are, what they need, and what they can offer, then the options become thin. Yes and no. Just the dating process became a lot easier. I became more confident and less dependent on their validation and didn't feel this need to be liked by everyone anymore, so I didn't overinvest myself and didn't get easily attached to men I barely knew. That allowed me to be in a much healthier position during dating. However, getting to the serious part of a relationship where I had to let myself feel and admit I have feelings and be vulnerable with a man, damn, that was hard. I had gotten so used to being independent and to detach myself when things got risky, as in me risking getting hurt, that I gave my boyfriend a bit of a hard time. We actually got into an argument once because I kept pushing him away emotionally and he just wanted to love me properly. It took a lot of work for me to not somehow sabotage and ruin my healthy relationship and let myself be loved and love him back the way he deserves. It's not harder, more tedious, but so much healthier. Instead of putting up with red flags, instead of trying to compromise, you are able to clean up your timeline quicker. Dating presents tons of options, regardless of whether they are right for you or not. By having clear and healthy things you look for, you identify red flags, you prioritize yourself so much more, so much healthier. Congratulations to you for this. So yes, but actually no. I am more consciously aware of my needs and feelings, and I am not ashamed to voice them anymore. That's made me better at drawing boundaries and excusing myself from harmful situations. I don't date super often. When I have dated, I have noticed that it is harder, but not really. Yes and no. It gets harder because it's almost sad the amount of people in the dating pool who are nowhere near emotionally stable enough to have a relationship. And yes, it gets easier because you can now tell if someone is emotionally unstable much sooner and can pass on them quicker. Women who were raised to be strong and independent have a way harder time finding a man that can match that energy. We don't want to baby guys we date. The longer I'm single and the more I date, the more I don't deal with shit these guys still haven't healed from or worked out in their life. It's easier to decide straight away if their preferences, differences, or patterns are incompatible. For example, a man I had a nice date with mentioned he's never been interested in or known dogs. 2 hours later he commented that he's left every relationship he's had, suddenly. The first difference about dogs was a straightforward and lighthearted silent nope from me. I didn't ask him questions about it nor outwardly change my interaction with him. His second reveal, well, it is interesting when they tell on themselves. I didn't ask him to elaborate because by then it didn't matter to me. It felt bloody fantastic to feel my responses instead of reacting or minimizing them, or people-pleasing, and instead to hear and accept people for who they say they are. I become resilient to mental damage. I overcome my mental health issues, I learn to resist manipulations, and I stop losing my mind because of love. And now, when I become superior myself, I am still alone, lol. It's a little bit harder, but mainly for the opposite reasons for me. Before working on myself, I was an incredibly selfish person. I had a chip on my shoulder and felt the world owed me something. The ones who had to deal with the worst of my behavior were probably people I dated, as I would never match the effort they put into the relationship. Now that I've worked on myself, I find dating hard due to the worry that I may not have changed as much as I think, and the man from a decade ago will just come back.